be bringing Ryan Clark of the Mothership, the former defensive back, and kind enough to join us here on short notice. Do you want to start AFC or NFC there, Ryan?
Listen, it's your show, Dan, man. I'm just honored to be on. I'll start where you tell me.
All right, let's start with the approach the Buffalo Bills had last night, and what does Tampa learn from what Buffalo did or didn't do?
That you can't stop them no matter what you pick. When you think about what Tampa did when they played Kansas City the first time. They did what we've seen them do throughout the playoffs. They went man to man. They were single high safety, and Patrick Mahomes carved them up for over 400 yards. And so the Buffalo Bills went back to something they did in Week 6, right, where Patrick Mahomes was checking off to runs, and they ended up rushing for over 200 yards, but they kept the score down. They only scored 26. What did he do differently this time, though? He went to the catch and run. He allowed Travis Kelce. He allowed Tyreek Hill to get the ball in space and have opportunities to create bigger plays. He got outside the pocket and created second play opportunities. And so it's kind of pick your poison when you play against the Kansas City Chiefs. Your hopes are he gets it out of his hand fast enough to not create big plays. But if you can't tackle on the back end, which the Buffalo Bills didn't do last night, you're in trouble. And so I think you have to have a mixture of that. But more than anything, Dan, he can't read your mail before the play. If Patrick Mahomes knows where to go with the football right away, if he knows if you're in single high safety or if he knows if you're in cover two, and he can get the ball out of his hands quickly, those guys that catch the ball, those skilled players, are much too good to contain. And so Todd Bowles has a hard decision on his hands.
Okay, but you're a defensive player. You couldn't go into a game as a player going, we have no chance of stopping them. Right? You wouldn't go in, or maybe you would. Have you ever gone into a game where you went, we have no chance of stopping this quarterback or this offense?
Absolutely not. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won't feel that way at all. Even Carlton Davis, who was burned for 200 yards in the first quarter against Tyreek Hill, he's going to step up and feel like he can do better this time, especially after matching up pretty well with Devontae Adams yesterday. But Tyreek Hill is different. Travis Kelce is different. And so this is a game where you need your defensive coordinator to help you. This is a game where you need your offense to run the football and keep Patrick Mahomes off the field as much as possible. You don't just defend Patrick Mahomes with 11 people playing defense. You defend him with your team. You defend him with your strategy, with your scheme. And so, yeah, you feel like you can go out there and play. But I'm going to tell you this. In 2010, when Aaron Rodgers was at the height of his Aaron Rodgers-ness, we go to the Super Bowl, and we played extremely well. There were plays I planned to get interceptions. There were things Coach LeBeau knew, and we knew exactly what was coming, and we were right there, able to make the play. And his throw was better. The placement was better. The velocity was better than we were. And sometimes that's what I'm not even going to say sometimes. Most of the times, that's what you run into when you play Patrick Mahomes, and many teams have seen that the last 2 years in the playoffs.
But I don't know if you disguise when you're going to double cover Kelce or when you're going to double cover Tyreek Hill, because you can't double cover both of them. But so how do you pick your poison each series or each play or, each quarter?
That's what these 2 weeks are about, right? These 2 weeks are about understanding where they get the football and when they get it in the most important moments. And you can double them, and you can disguise when you double it. And you also know that you have Levante David and you have Devin White, right? Maybe the best linebacking core in the NFL, definitely top 3. And you look at that and you say, you know what? It's going to be your job to handle Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's going to be your job to handle Darrell Williams. We're not going to stack the front. We're not going to put 8 people in the box. If they choose to run it, we feel like our guys are better than their guys up front. And so if you do have to call a play, which we called in Pittsburgh was double the stars, right? If you played a team that had 2 threats, if it was Rob Gronkowski and Wes Welker, right, and you're going to double the stars with a backer and a safety, you're going to lean a safety to Tyreek Hill, then you do those type of things. You just have to do it timely. And it's not necessarily about disguising it, because sometimes I want you to know I'm doubling Tyreek Hill, so you just throw it somewhere the hell else. I want you to know I'm doubling Travis Kelce, so you can throw it somewhere the hell else. And I think Todd Bowles is going to have to figure out when is the right time to play too high, single high, double, blitz, because if he catches you and he knows it's coming, there's nothing you can do to stop it.
What's it like when you're on the field with somebody you know is a whole lot faster than you? Like Tyreek Hill seems like He's a whole lot fast. Do you have a guy that you played against where you went, that guy's a whole lot
Chris
faster?
Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Chris Johnson, and it didn't even take any thought. There's a play. There's a play the year after we win the Super Bowl, Dan, and this is coming off of the off season. It's the first game. It's a Thursday night game. You know, the coronation of the reigning champs, and we're playing cover 2. So I'm kind of backside about 9 yards off the ball, and they start with run away for me. And so with run away, I had to cut back, right? So I couldn't overrun the ball. He starts back toward us. He cuts back to the backside. And I'm 9 yards from the line of scrimmage. Chris Johnson is still behind the line of scrimmage, but I see that he's going to get outside. I didn't take a 45-degree angle. I turned my body directly to the goal line he was going to, and I started running and not looking at him. Because I understood I wasn't going to catch him. The only reason I turned around, Dan, was so when the film came on, Coach LeBeau could say, "Great effort, RC." The only thing that helped me is that Troy played on our team, and he was somehow on game day the fastest person in the world, and he ended up catching him 40 yards down the field. So the moral to the story is Chris Johnson ran by me and Troy Polamalu all at the same time when I knew I was only running to show that I had worked out in the offseason because I wasn't catching it.
He's Ryan Clark of the Mothership joining us. I love what you tweeted out about Scotty Miller. Ryan tweeted out, Scotty Miller's not like any of those New England receivers. I'm tired of telling folks that. Nothing about number 10 says, bring his lunch pail, first in, last out, coach on the field, reads the zone, dude is a burner, address him as such, LOL. You should have tweeted that to Kevin King prior to the game because he forgot that Scotty Miller was a track guy. This isn't Wes Welker or Julian Edelman.
Yes. Well, you know what happened. What's funny is I tweeted that before the play at the end of the second quarter. So this was I don't know. I think they replaced Cameron Brate with Scotty Miller, and he runs it out, and they throw him the ball, and Troy is going off about Julian Edelman and Wes Welker, and listen, guys, I try not to bring race into things, but sometimes racial bias plays a part. And this wasn't my racial bias; it was Troy's. Troy saw a short little white guy, and he thought all those other dudes that had ever played with Tom Brady. He is not that dude. This is the dude that when you do go to the track meet, and I hope I can say this on your show, when you do go to the track meet and he wins the 4x1 by coming back from last place and beating all the other black dudes on the track, they say, "Hey man, y'all seen that white boy? That's who Scotty Miller is. He's that fast, he's that explosive, and he will embarrass you." And so I don't know what we have to do to get scouting reports around the world changed, but he's none of those people. Now, he may do all those things. He may be first in, first out. He's also first to finish every sprint at practice. He's the fastest guy on the team. He's a deep ball threat. And had Kevin King read my Twitter or had he had his phone on the sideline, maybe he wouldn't have been beat deep.
I think I need a faster name for him, Ryan. Like Scotty Miller that doesn't sound like a fast guy.
I think it does. I mean, think about it. Chris Johnson, that's a fast name,
Well, no, he had a great nickname though.
Oh yeah, we do. White Lightning would obviously be probably too racist and also too easy.
How about Smoke Miller?
But John Brown is Smoke in Buffalo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but he's not in the playoffs, so he can.
Well, there's only two teams left in the playoffs. I don't know what other jungle cat is as fast as a cheetah either, because Tyreek's already playing on the other side.
The decision by the Packers to go for the field goal. I can only tell you what I thought in real time, and I didn't understand the sequence of plays. If you know you're going to go for it on fourth down, I got to change what I'm going to do for the other three downs, but. Mm-hmm. I'm curious what you saw and if you agreed with what the Packers were trying to do.
Absolutely did not agree with what the Packers were trying to do. I think when you get in that position, Dan, you say this is 4-down territory, and now you start to call your plays according to that. Obviously, you have the miscommunication on the slant. Then you have second down. Then on third, we're trying to decide whether Aaron Rodgers runs or does whatever. But I think if you call your plays differently, you're not in a position where you're thinking of going for 4th and 8 or 4th and 9. You're closer to the goal line, and you can make those plays. The other thing that's confusing for me is you hear so many times when people are in the red zone, they get a penalty and you say, oh, the playbook now opens up. How come the playbook was closed all of a sudden? And you have Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure if you ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Dan, but here's what I thought about. What he essentially did was what Colton did on the last shot of the game when he stole the ball from Will Smith. He didn't give him a chance. And if you remember, Colton threw that ball over the basketball goal. And that's what happened. When you kick that field goal and now you're depending on your defense, who has Kevin King on it, who played terrible all day, you've taken the ball out of the best player on your team's hand, probably the MVP this season. And what struck me most about this is the reason you're losing, the reason you're down at least a touchdown, is because Bruce Arians trusted his Hall of Fame quarterback and put him back on the field late in the second quarter, and they pick up a fourth down. Then they throw that football to Scotty Miller to score. You have to have that same type of gumption, those same type of guts. You got to go win it in that moment. And to make that decision, even when the analytics tell you it's not that big of a change if you go for the field goal or not, is unacceptable.
Did you ever get a pick against Brady?
Of course not. Brady beat our butt like every time. We beat him one time, and it was one of the happiest moments of my regular season life. No. He was actually, I will give him this. I got an opportunity to talk to him my last year. We were in Washington. We were playing him. He was actually highly complimentary of me and Troy. But I will say this. The year Troy and I were both out was the year Anthony Smith guaranteed a win against the undefeated Patriots. He throws a touchdown, a bomb. He throws a long pass and runs 60 yards. Anthony Smith ended up being the guy beat on the play, run 60 yards to stand in front of Anthony Smith and tell him about his guarantee. And when I saw that, it was like the realest moment to me because I was like, here he is, this 6th-round pick, a guy from California, extremely classy, extremely distinguished, and he chose to run 60 yards he didn't have to tell somebody about keeping their mouth closed. And that's when I gained a lot of respect for the competitor Tom Brady was.
What do you think Aaron Rodgers was saying after the game about his future in Green Bay?
I think this was the first time, because of the way things ended, Aaron Rodgers let himself look at the draft pick of Jordan Love in totality. I think he tried his best to be a great teammate. He tried his best to be a great leader. And I think because he understood that the perception of him was that he wasn't going to do that. The perception of him was that he was going to make it hard on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. So I think he fought that all season, and I think he found some joy in that. And I believe you get to this position, you don't win the NFC Championship. Your coach doesn't allow you to go for it on fourth down, and then you start to let everything weigh on you. The pick, not getting an extra weapon, not giving me the opportunity to go on fourth down, maybe not having a chance to have an extra playmaker to help me win this game, and you say, you know what? This may not be the place for me. But that's emotion talking. I think he steps away and realizes he's 26-6 in the last 2 seasons, and he's been to the NFC Championship twice, and he'll probably settle down and understand, let's go try to get another run at this.
Would you want Matthew Stafford if you're a contender and you need a quarterback?
I would. I think Matthew Stafford is one of the more underrated players of his generation. It's because he's been in Detroit his whole life. It's because he necessarily hasn't had the pieces around him to win. This is a guy with as much arm talent and plenty arm talent to win football games. Obviously, we've seen the type of toughness that this man has because of the beatings he's taken. I think you have to be the right team. If I'm the San Francisco 49ers, somebody I look at. If I'm the Washington football team, it's a quarterback I look at. If I'm the Indianapolis Colts, he's a quarterback I take a look at. I don't know if those teams have what the Detroit Lions will want to get him, but he's definitely a viable choice as a starting quarterback in this league.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just a first-round pick, Ryan, because if they decide – why did they announce publicly that they're parting ways? Why do you lose leverage, don't you?
I think you definitely lose leverage because if I'm another team out there, I say, well, if we don't have the trade capital or want to give up the trade capital it will take to get him, then they're going to probably just release him anyway. Why not play that game? Why not play the free agent game? Or maybe there's a team that wants him so much, believes he's so vital to their success, or believe that they're one Matthew Stafford away from winning a championship that does come with what's needed or what Detroit wants to get him. I think that for me, I don't announce it. Or maybe you just announce it so teams know that Matthew Stafford has the ability to start talking about a trade and what that would look like for him and for the Detroit Lions.
In case I don't talk to you before the Super Bowl, who do you got?
As long as Patrick Mahomes is alive, I'm probably going to pick him to win every single game he plays in. So I got the Chiefs. You're
going to bet against Tom Brady?
I am, but not with real money. It's my reputation.
Hey, you're doing great. We appreciate you joining us and hope to have you on again. Thank you, Ryan.
Man, thank you so much.
That's Ryan Clark.